I want to start this episode by telling you a quick story about myself. Some months back, I attended this interview where the light kept going off. I mean, the light of the room where I was in, where I was taking this interview, kept going off. You can imagine how awkward that was for me, especially because this was a specialty in my field, which I knew not much about, and so I was hoping I wasn't making a fool of myself. But anyway, what that did for me in the end was that the interviewers got to see my personality, because this happened 3 to 4 times, and then myself and the interviewers, we started laughing about it each time it happened, and it sort of built like this bond. It sort of let my personality shine through, and this video is kind of hinged on things like this. Anyway, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And in today's video, I'll be talking about how to ace the UK interviews and specifically things that no one tells you, or people that currently work in the UK have not particularly maybe noticed themselves, or because they're really the little things. Anyway, you're going to understand once I get into it. But these are not conventional things. I only work in my field, so I'm probably unable to tell you things about your own fields. And let me just add this disclaimer that this little points here and there does not substitute for knowing your stuff, knowing things about your field, or knowing what the answers you should give for an interview in your field. This is like the icing on the cake, and it's a very important kind of icing because it actually determines between good and better. This kind of thing determines who gets the job or who doesn't get the job. So this is very interesting. And again, this episode or this conversation is hinged on the fact that depending on where you're from in the world, cultures are different. Things that make people laugh, things that are seen as humor, they are quite different. The way people see things, the things that make people laugh, the things that make people think are different. In this case, I was talking about UK and how this sort of applies to UK interviewers. The sun is shining today, but I'm happy after all that winter darkness and all that. Honestly, I don't mind a bit of sunshine. I have my sunscreen on, so really I do not mind. Okay, let's get right into it. Now, you must be wondering if I got the job I talked about in the first story I talked about. I got that job for sure, and my points in telling that story was to let you know that my personality shined through in this way. They could sort of see me as a human being, because basically in an interview you're selling yourself. Anyway, I'm going to go more into this during this video, so just stay tuned. Okay, I got that job, and knowing this principle made me get 2 other jobs using these principles, okay, which I'm going to talk about in this video. Before I continue, do not forget to hit the like button because it's about to be a blast, and do not forget to subscribe because there's more and more coming through, and you definitely do not want to miss out on that. Okay, let's get right into it. The first point I'm going to leave is answer questions in specific scenarios. So what you want to do in UK, they care a lot about your work experience. So what you want to do is to hinge the future on the past or the present. So you want to give stories, you want to give scenarios that says, oh, I've done this in the past. If you're going to involve people, you say, oh, you're trying to answer a question, whatever the answer is in your field. So you say, oh, I've done this in my current job or in my previous job, and tell a story, basically. Create a scenario. So you really need to be able to whoop up the stories. I'm not saying you should lie, of course, but basically say everything in a story manner. That way your interviewers don't even get bored about what you're saying. Do you know what I mean? And if you have friends that are already in that field in the UK, it's nicer if you use the specific terminologies they use in the UK about that thing. Okay, so this is especially very helpful for immigrants or people that are looking to move to the UK, because those terminologies are probably not what is used in your own country, but it's useful if you know those terminologies, because then they feel like you can definitely work in their setting, or you're half ready or you're fully ready to work with them, and it gives you an edge to pass the interviews. Okay, so that first point is very important. Now going to point 2, 3, and 4, they're all tied together with point 5, so you really want to pay attention to this. They're all interwoven really, and one is not specifically helpful on its own. Applying everything is what really gives you that edge, so definitely stay tuned. Okay, the second one is to not put an overly serious front out there. I've been there, I'm sure many other people have been there. Okay, that point where you just put out an overly serious front. You want them to know, oh, I've got this, I know this, look here. The most important thing is people want to see your personality. They want to see you shine through. You're not supposed to be perfect. Honestly, if I'm being very honest with you, you're not supposed to know every single thing. You're supposed to have a good idea, and you're supposed to be able to, your personality part is very important, because people want people that can work with their teams. They want you to be a good fit for their team. Actually, putting up an overly serious front actually does the opposite of what you think it will do for you. You think it's going to make you look like a better candidate, but to them, you're seeing it as you won't be a good fit for our team, because we don't know if you'll be able to build good interpersonal relationships, or if you're just going to come to cause trouble in the team. They would rather pick someone that is like 70% good and has a good personality over someone that is 95% good and they can't really see that personality element, and you're just wondering, oh, we don't know if you fit into our team. Fun fact, every time I've gotten the job in the UK, one thing they've always told me is, we really like you, and that is what you really want to achieve, and that is why all these points, I believe, are very important. So look more like, let your human parts shine through. Don't put up that serious front, you know what I mean? It makes you look more confident when you don't put up a serious front, as opposed to when you put up a serious front. Because if you know something that well, you can talk about it and be confident about it without, looking serious like you're going to battle, if you know what I mean. But if you know about it, you just relax and you talk about it anyway in a confident manner. So instead of being overly serious, be more relaxed and just do your thing. Okay, of course you must have studied enough and known enough for the interview to even do that. Okay, my next point is, you need to be warm and you need to be endearing. So these points kind of fit into each other. You need to be warm. You need to show them that, oh, you can be, you're someone that people can want to work with, because you may not know everything on this job, but you must show that human part that is, oh, I'm warm, I'm endearing, I can fit into a team and make things better. So this point is quite very explanatory. So people want to see that personality. Do you know what I mean? So you need to be warm, you need to be endearing, smile, laugh. Do you know what I mean? Don't take it too seriously. Don't act like the world is about to collapse. Do you know what I mean? I've been here, so no judgment on anyone. So be warm, be endearing, be cautious. Let them see that part of you. You really need to let that shine through. Prepare for your interview and definitely apply these tips. So I'm going to go to the third one, which is something I've been saying over and over. Okay? Actually, this is the fourth one really. You need to let your personality shine through. Okay? Let your human parts, not your body, literally, but let the fact that you're human, let it shine through. If someone throws in a joke, or something that sounds more like a joke, like, let's say you say, I like to walk my dog or something. And I don't know, anyway, I'm not going to even add that. Gosh, maybe I tell horrible jokes. Anyway, my point is, let your personality shine through. You can throw in a joke or two after you've answered something. Maybe you have a wife and you say, they ask you, maybe at the end of the interview, they ask you, how do you rest after a long day? Say, I go to the spa, but without my wife. And, it just makes everyone laugh. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's something like, I just want to get away from everyone. I go to this spa to get away from everyone, including my wife. But it just shows that you're human. It just shows that part of you that says you're human. You might not necessarily use that joke, do you know what I mean? But you're just telling them that, look, I'm not trying to present like a perfect front. Doesn't mean you have problems in your marriage. But my point is just that, I don't know if you get what I mean. Leave a point in the comment section. If you don't understand me, I get it. Leave a comment in the comment section and I'll definitely reply to that. Maybe I just have bad jokes, but I just want you to really get what I'm saying. Like, just throwing a joke or two there. Yeah, that's basically it. They really want to see that part of you. Just something that would lighten up the mood and make everyone laugh, but could also be like real. So I've said the fourth one, which I think is very important as well. Someone once said, and I've quoted this many times without exactly remembering who said it, no one is you, and that is your superpower. So you want to let you shine through. Okay? That's your superpower, remember. And now we are going to go to the last one. So all these things I've said, I said they will tie into the last point. And the last point is, do not look desperate in any way, shape, or form. Like, don't look desperate for an interview. Just be relaxed, which is really relates to everything I've been saying. Don't look like you really need this job. Let your attitude be, I want this job versus I need this job. I need this job means that you be like desperate, and you put up that desperate, serious front. Do you know what I mean? But I want this job, it's just like, oh, I'm relaxed, but if I get it, fine. If I don't, fine. But in the end, you know you want to get the job, but you're just like, yeah, fine. And that's the attitude you need to give. That's just I'm just describing the kind of attitude you need to give. I'm not saying you don't want that job. You just need to give that attitude that says, I want the job. I don't necessarily need it for like my survival. Because once you give that vibe, I don't know if you've had like people that have been desperate to be your friends. You're more likely not to want to be friends with someone that is desperate to be your friend versus someone that is that just wants to be your friend and is doing natural things to make sure that happens. So just look at it from that perspective. And being desperate is also, or putting up a desperate front in any way at all, is going to make them, it's not going to be good for you, because you're not going to be able to negotiate when time comes. Your negotiation is just going to die because you've already put up that front that I want that job, maybe I'm nothing without this job, blah, blah, blah. Then you won't be able to negotiate because, you know what I mean? You've already spoiled things for yourself. So you can't negotiate because, you know what, you've acted like this job is your alpha and omega, if I do say so. Anyway, never mind. So you've acted like this job is everything to you. You've acted like you can't survive without this job. So they're going to treat you that way, like you can't survive without the job. So without further ado, I hope these tips have been helpful for you. Do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to give me a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video. For now, bye.